Hey, what's going on, everyone? Today we're going to start the video off a little differently than normal. I'm actually here live for the first, 1 minute, and I just wanted to show you what's going on in the 25 hours I've played on this server. So, yeah, let's get started. Just a big shout out to the server, which I don't normally do, but Mine Wonderland, I guess. They are hosting a Chroma Technology server, and I have, beautiful ping, no lag at all the whole time. So that's what I've been doing for the past 2 days, pretty much. Anyway, so that being said, 25 hours played, what can you expect to be? I am in no way at all a Minecraft professional whatsoever, but we're going to take a look at what I have right now. So this is obviously a big reactor from Nuclear Reactor. I'm producing not that much power, 7,000 RF per tick, and I have an induction matrix here with about 1 billion units of RF in it. Here we have a void ore miner, and this basically mines materials from an alternate dimension. So it doesn't actually mine straight down, even though, I don't know if you can see, yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like it's mining straight down, but it actually doesn't. It kind of pulls from a parallel dimension. This is kind of my base here, and you can see what the void ore miner is doing is some of this. So I've been pulling quite a bit of resources. I kind of have every resource I would want. There's nothing I'm really looking for, to say the least. I mean, as far as this base tour goes, I don't really have too much more to say. I guess we can take a look and see what I've done so far on the achievements and stuff like that. So I'm getting started with Draconic Evolution, which is pretty close to the start of a lot of Endgame. Obviously, I finished Classic Vanilla pretty much. Technology, I've done quite a bit of mechanism. These aren't checked off, but for example, the atomic disassembler isn't checked off, but you can clearly see I have it in my inventory. So there's some things you have to do. In digital miner, I obviously have one of those. So there's stuff that sometimes doesn't get checked off because you didn't do the prerequisites first, but you can pretty much see I'm pretty good. I'm applied energistics, I've done the core of it, some of the magical stuff I've done. Magical crops, sorry, I've done a good amount of it. Environmental tech is what I'm getting started on now. This is the start of endgame resource production. You pretty much never need to, you just always have resources, you never need them again. As far as dimensions go, I don't know why this isn't checked off. I literally killed the Ender Dragon 20 minutes ago, so that's kind of weird. Galacticraft, I haven't really got started on this, but I've touched a lot of this mod pack in 25 hours, which I'm surprised. But that is a quick overview, I guess, of where I am in the tech tree and what I'm kind of doing right now. So that is a quick taste of what 25 hours pretty much gets you on this mod pack. And there's still a lot more for me to do, but it's safe to say, obviously this pack is worth investing your time in. Enjoy the video, guys. I guess I'll see you in a second. Welcome back. That's the first live intro I've done, so I'm curious to see if that's a good way to start the video or not for this series. Regardless, thanks for tuning in today to my Minecraft mod pack review series. In this series, I'm going to start by going over the general idea and summary of what the mod pack is, and then I'm going to move on to my 5-part evaluation segment. In the evaluation segment, I will be evaluating the PC specs and RAM requirements to run the mod pack. Then I'm going to talk about the genre breakdown of the pack, if it's, primarily tech, magic, exploration. Then I'm going to talk about the content and the end game of the mod pack, the difficulty of the mod pack, and then finally my personal enjoyment of the mod pack. Just as a disclaimer, I do have this in the description of the video, but some people were asking me about my video resolution size. I play on one ultra-wide monitor. Unfortunately, that means the games I play are going to be recorded in the ultra-wide resolution. Maybe one day I'll get a regular size monitor, but for now I'm just working with what I have for these videos, so I appreciate your patience, I really do, and I hope everything looks clear and everything is still in high quality. Okay, so today, as you can probably tell, we're going to be taking a look at Chroma Technology. Chroma Technology is a fairly up-to-date mod pack running on Minecraft version 1.12.2. This mod pack boasts over 300 mods, several dimensions, 1,000+ quests with all unique rewards, and overall, just a lot of stuff to do. The mod pack is currently playable on the CurseForge launcher, and as of recording this video, there's multiple North American and European dedicated servers for the mod pack. I played over 25 hours on Mine Wonderland's Chroma Technology server, so it's only fair for me to, plug them because I played pretty much my entire time on their server. There's going to be a link in the description for the server. If you're on North America, you want to play with some friends, that was the server that had the best ping and up times for me, and I tested out at least 3 or 4 servers. I personally enjoy the server experience more than just single player. It forces me to not cheat stuff in and really play mods to their full potential. That's just me, but that's why I do play on a server by myself. Just a heads up, the dedicated video content on their Forge page and their Discord is in French. I do actually speak and understand an okay amount of French, so I watched an hour or so of Modpack gameplay, and I was sold, so I definitely had to try it out. Si le créateur regarde cette vidéo, je veux dire excellent travail et j'ai vraiment aimé ce Modpack. Okay, well, my French is far from great or good at all, but I just hope it wasn't terrible. Anyway, we're gonna start with the overview of the Modpack, and don't worry, it'll be in English. Well, this mod pack is a little bit thick. I think there's 302 mods in this mod pack, but they're presented phenomenally. Credit where credit is due. I've played packs with hundreds of mods before. Everyone has. Oftentimes, packs of this size and caliber are just insane. There's no direction, there's no help, there's no guidance on at all with what you should start with, what content lies for you in the end game, and usually there's no description at all of what the mods in the mod pack even do. Fortunately, I cannot say the same for Chroma Technology. This mod pack beautifully balances the insane number of mods into a unique, organized, and colorful quest book. Each page in the quest book builds off of the last. The mod pack is organized into chapters. You start with chapter 1, which is vanilla Minecraft. Then you move on to chapter 2, which is most early game tech mods. Then you move on to chapter 3, which is applied energistics. The list goes on and on. Upon completion of a single quest, you're granted a reward of some kind, plus some special currency. The currency can be used with the in-game shop. You can buy rare materials from vanilla Minecraft, or you can buy materials from other mods. To me, the genius of this mod pack is to make 300 mods feel like 20 or 30 really complete ones. It also doesn't hold you back at all. Some quest books and some mod packs force certain mods to be prerequisites for other mods. A good example would be my review of the Infinity Evolved Reloaded mod pack. In that scenario, it makes sense. It's a hardcore tech mod pack, so it makes sense that mods are locked behind other mods. But in a non-hardcore tech mod pack, sometimes you just want to jump in and do what you want to do, and this mod pack lets you do that. I was able to jump straight into environmental tech, which is kind of like an endgame resource generation mod right after my ME storage system. It was harder a little bit because I was missing some steps. I didn't really want to do the bees mod or the juice mod. Yes, there is an entire page in the quest book about making different types of juice. Apple juice, orange juice? I don't know, what's your favorite type of juice? So I went from Applied Energistics, which is chapter 3, to chapter 9, which is environmental tech, and there was really no problem. The chapter system in the quest book is a fantastic general guideline of the mods you should explore first versus the mods that are meant to be explored in the endgame, like Draconic Evolution and maybe Galacticraft. For you magic lovers out there, there's a chapter made just for you, made up of 4 smaller chapters of the main magic mods of the mod pack. I don't often say that there's something for everyone in this mod pack, but I think that might be the best way to explain it. There's loads of technology, but there's also a good amount of magic, exploration, and adventure to have throughout your journey in Chroma Technology. That about finishes my overview for this mod pack, and now we're going to start my 5-part evaluation. Starting with PC specs and RAM. As always, my PC specs are on screen now, and you can also find this information in the description if you wish to compare. I would strongly suggest comparing your PC specs to mine. If your PC is significantly better than mine, this section might not be worth your time and it might not be very relevant. Same thing goes for if your PC is significantly worse than mine. This section might be worth skipping because it might not mean anything to you. I played this pack on 9 to 10 gigabytes pretty much the entire time. You can see on screen now what that looks like, pretty much solid 100 plus frames consistently. You can also see that it uses pretty much a minimum of 6,000 megabytes, which is 6 gigabytes, and I was peaking at about 95% of my 9 gigabyte total in this video, you can see in the top right. So looking at those numbers in the top right, I decided to run it on 6 gigabytes, which is the floor, pretty much the lowest point you can play on, at least on my computer. At 6, it's actually playable. You average, 50 FPS instead of 100, and you freeze when moving around sometimes. But if you're on a lower end PC, you can definitely run with a 6 gigabyte, allocated RAM minimum. But I would suggest that you definitely want something more like 7, 8, or 9 for this mod pack. Additionally, the mod pack has a really long client load time. The less RAM you have, the longer it's going to take, so please bear that in mind as well. Okay. Moving on to my next category is my opinion of what genres I would break this pack down into. So I'm going to break this pack into Magic at 5%, RPG at 5%, Exploration 10%, Fantasy 5%, Technology 75%. This was like the easiest mod pack to do the breakdown of because the quest book kind of gives you a literal numerical percentage of how much each chapter is worth. So you just kind of look at how many chapters there are, and then how many chapters are devoted to magic, how many chapters are devoted to, exploration, and you can pretty easily tell how much of the mod pack is devoted to each genre. For magic, there's a single chapter, which is kind of broken down into 4 mini chapters, which are decently complex. I would say looking at the mods and then the environment of the world and the quest book, probably 5% of this entire pack is going to be based around, magic related mods and like magical related themes. I used to call the adventure category RPG, but I felt it was too similar to exploration, so that's why this one's just called RPG. Basically, RPG for me is the level of immersion you might feel, when you're playing the mod pack. How well you connect with the environment or NPCs or the world around you. Needless to say, that's not really a thing with this mod pack if you go at least the main route through the quest book. It's definitely possible through some of the magic mods and the new dungeons and pre-generated structures scattered across the world, but if you picked up this pack to solely play an adventure RPG style pack, you will be disappointed. Exploration is kind of similar, but it's encouraged through the progression of the quest book. There's multiple tabs for dimension exploring, like the Nether, End, Aether, Mining Dimension, Hunting Dimension, it goes on and on. Rare materials for Endgame are sometimes exclusively found from killing legendary mobs across the different dimensions. There's actually a really decent chunk of exploring, and you're kind of forced to go throughout the pack and explore, which obviously I really enjoyed. For fantasy, as you heard me mention, there's an okay amount of fantasy. There's a good mix of dimensions to explore, which I would consider fantasy, especially like Twilight Forest and stuff. Great beasts and bosses you must defeat, crazy powerful mobs that just spawn during the night, just on the regular overworld. They drop extra loot, they're harder to kill. There's an okay amount of fantasy mixed in with the exploration segment of this mod pack, which makes it feel, it makes it feel natural and it's not really forced. Finally, we got the big one, technology. I'm sure as you can tell by the mod pack name, this is mainly about technology. Chroma Technology at its core is a technological progression pack. You start from a vanilla Minecraft furnace and make your way up to automated quadrupling of ores from void miners. There's sustainable automated nuclear energy, and you can store billions and billions of units of power in massive multi-block induction matrices, you name it. There's so many tech mods in this pack to explore, thousands and thousands of recipes, hundreds of machines, and they all work together to help you reach the end game. Speaking of which, what a fantastic way to segue into my third category, endgame and content of Chroma Technology. I'm sure you can probably get a general gist of how much content there is to explore in this pack because of what I've already said. So I'm going to focus on the endgame level of this pack. If you've skipped everything up to this point, there's a lot of content, 300 mods in Chroma Technology, thousands of recipes, hundreds of machines. There's no lack of content. As I mentioned, the quest book is split up into chapters, and the chapters are kind of set in order, and it recommends you complete them chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, etc. I would classify normally Draconic Evolution as somewhat of an endgame mod, but there's at least 5 pages in the quest book of mods that come after Draconic Evolution. Mods like Galacticraft and More Planets encourage you to go out and explore crazy planets across our solar system and beyond our solar system. Harvest resources or, just visit the planets. There's crazy powerful armor, tier 6 environmental tech. There's so many endgame pathways, but all of them are staying realistically achievable, right? In 25 hours, I was getting started in Draconic Evolution, and I was in the process of getting my Void Miner to like tier 4. Since this pack is not hardcore, you can get to these points in a more timely manner. So I'm personally very thankful that there's more things to do after what I would classify as a normal or typical endgame. Second to last, we're going to talk about the difficulty of the pack. This pack is not that hard. I think you could do everything you wanted to do in probably under 100 hours in the mod pack. The Ender Dragon is like Vanilla's hardest fight you can have in the game, right? I went to the end with my Atomic Disassembler and a jetpack, and it was stupid easy. I mean, I know that's the case for most modded Minecraft, but that's just a point of reference of how difficult vanilla Minecraft is compared to this. At the point of the game where I'm at, which is around 25 hours in the pack, I pretty much have all the materials I could ever want, all the fuel for my nuclear reactor I could want, and all the power I really need. As with most tech mods, the work you put in after a certain point is just about making your machines more efficient, more powerful, and even more automated. If vanilla Minecraft is a 3 out of 10 for difficulty, I would give this pack like 5. There's a lot of stuff to do for sure, but it's not hard work, it's just fun. You don't feel like this pack is super grindy, the recipes are pretty straightforward, and it's just a good time all around. For me, it was something fun to have on the background while I completely ignored what was going on in my school lectures. So finally, for the least important score, my personal enjoyment. I love tech packs. They're my bread and butter when it comes to modded Minecraft, and this is like a tech pack on steroids. It has all the things I love: a beautiful quest book, an in-game shop, countless machines to learn and craft. There's automated mining, massive structures to generate and store power. What's not to love? I think I can safely give this pack a 9 out of 10 for personal enjoyment, because on my first day of playing, I played for 13 hours. Yeah, I'm not proud to admit that, but it's really rare for a pack to do that. To put that in perspective, my last mod pack review was on Mine Colonies, and I played that for 16 hours in 2.5 days. I almost did that entire time in 1 day for this mod pack. This pack is dangerous for people like me, and I actually met some pretty cool people on the server that helped me out with mods I was unfamiliar with or when I was stuck. This pack is extremely underrated. So much effort was clearly put into making the quest book and making sure the mods felt good together, and they're not really just thrown in a pile. That in itself is really impressive to me, and I feel like I can spot when significant effort and passion are put into mod packs like these. This is going to be my go-to non-hardcore tech pack for the next few weeks at least. All I can say is I really hope I've persuaded you to just give it a try. I don't think you'll regret it, and if you do, there's probably something wrong with you. Anyway, that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all the positive feedback I've been getting lately, and I'm almost at 50 subscribers, which is pretty insane. You don't have to subscribe at all. I never ask for people to like or subscribe at the end of videos. This is just a hobby for me, but I am glad that some people out there can enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Please stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.